the thing of the. Oh, thank you. Faceplant cat. We're live. It's faceplant cat. It was faceplant cat. Now it's just ignoring you, cat.
Now it's passive aggressive cat.
Passive aggressive cat. Passive aggressive ignoring you, cat. Well, let's see if this works properly because I'm not sure. Because it was weird when I turned it on. It was weird. It seems like it is. Are we getting everyone? Can everyone see this? Can everyone on the A team page? There's only 23 people. YouTube. Hey, YouTube.
Howdy.
Kathleen, Marion, Stacy. We're only getting YouTube?
Huh.
What happened to Facebook?
Oh, there we go.
Where's Facebook?
We got some Facebook.
Oh, they won face. Hi, Susan. That's interesting. What's going on with Facebook? See, this is my concern is because it didn't say public. Oh, it says public now. What's going on, Facebook?
Hey, guys.
Facebook is working in Michigan. Hey, Janet.
Nice.
Now we got some Facebookers, but seeing very few. I'm seeing more YouTube than Facebook. That's very strange.
Very
Something
odd.
56. Sharon. 56. What? That's strange. That's really bizarro.
Huh.
What's going on, Facebook? Usually we have like 600 people on Facebook. I don't understand. So we were thinking maybe we would check these out. I don't know how we never did them. So we have, these are cards. And we've played with these ones before, just Aaron and I together. And they're just like get to know you cards. At least this deck is like get to know you. So they're questions like describe my future that I don't dare imagine. Or here, this one. If I had no fear whatsoever, what do you think is the first thing I'd do? So stuff like that. This pink deck is for like getting to know you. And so Aaron and I had checked them out back in West Palm Beach last year. Well, now we're married. Now I've gotten to know him.
Getting to know you.
I've gotten to know him and decided that I like him enough to live with him every day.
To try this version.
And so, but we have this box that we never opened. Long-term couples edition. I don't know if that's a marriage thing or just
probably because it's a more encompassing. All right, can't get it open.
It will not open. Why? Why? What is happening?
Is it taped?
No.
I guess they figured that at this point nobody's talking to each other. So.
Guess we're not allowed. Guess we're not allowed to play. Alrighty. I'll get it eventually.
One day.
There we go. You're all ears. Okay. Let's see. You haven't been married long enough? Married long enough for what?
To be able to answer these. We haven't earned the right
to do these cards. I thought it was on Facebook, but I guess I'm on YouTube. Yes, LP, you are definitely on YouTube. Terry likes your shirt.
Thank you.
Abby just watched the live about the gecko. Still in there. He's still in there.
Still lurking.
I don't know what he's doing. How do we want to do this? Do we want to ask each other questions or do we want to draw and answer our own questions?
What does it say? What are the rules? Is there rules?
I think it's pretty flexible. I think it's pretty liberal. Get ready to enter a unique space from which to explore your relationship. As far as the experience goes, the rules are simple. Step 1. Sit facing one another with a comfortable distance between you. Step 2. Choose an equal number of random cards from the deck. So we have to decide how many questions we want to answer. Step 3. Take 30 seconds to relax and look at one another. 30 seconds is a long time to just stare at someone. You ever tried it? Step 4. Alternate asking and answering all the questions.
All the questions.
Every question must be asked, but you do not have to answer the question. To earn the right to remain silent, you must look the person in the eye for 10 seconds before saying pass.
Okay. I feel like it'll be too long to be quiet and people will be like, okay, this is boring. I'm leaving.
These questions create the space for meaningful conversation. They are an opportunity to learn through vulnerability and, most importantly, a fun way to deepen the connection in your life. All right. Glasses back on so I can see. 30 seconds seems like hours. I know, right? It's a long time.
Leah.
What is this? Couples counseling? Maybe. How many do you want to start with?
I don't know.
Well, look, they even have cards in here. You can write in your own question. Something I must know whenever I play this with someone. I'm going to write it in. It's a pretty substantial deck. See? There's quite a few cards there. Anne says, I used to watch on Facebook all the time. I now like YouTube better. All right. I don't know, Anne, how funny this is going to be. This could end up being like a tearjerker in an emotional way. This could end up being very serious. Oh, look, there's a how to play card in the middle of the deck. We'll see. Do you just want to just go back and forth?
Sure.
I mean, there may be some that we have to pass because they're, anything that we decide we're not going to talk about, share publicly. Scoot in, please. Ugh. Are you ready?
I guess so.
Do we have to stare at each other for 30 seconds?
Oh, hi.
All right, I'll go first. Here we go. What do you think I need, and are you providing it?
What do you think you need? What do I think you need? Probably to listen to directions, listen to what you're saying. And I feel like it's a little hot and cold for me because I tend to get really into whatever the first thing that she tells me is, and then I don't listen to what the next thing is, and that usually causes problems because then I don't know what to do, and I just sort of try to fill in the blanks instead of coming back and asking the right question. So that's definitely something that I think I need to work on.
You're hot and you're cold, you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out, you're up and you're down.
Demonetized.
Done. The first 2 minutes. YouTube's like, nope, sorry.
You're done.
All right.
You
keep sliding
downward. My back.
Yes, my back. We are. Aaron's like, why does it hurt to live? We are achy, aging people. Write it down. Monica says, write it down. You know, he actually does do that sometimes.
When I do, it's good, but I don't always do it. It's a problem.
But you found it to be helpful when you do.
Yes, because then I can refer to, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tips for any husbands out there that have similar experiences. Write it down. Helps.
Yeah.
Next game. How long can Nana go without singing? Not long.
That's a good question. That should be on here. If you could go back to any point in our relationship and give yourself advice, what would it be and when? It's like, don't do it. Get out.
If I could go back to any point in our relationship and give myself advice, what would it be and when? I think I would go back to right before we moved.
Which move?
This one, the big one. So back to like
Ann Arbor?
Yeah, like the end of February.
Okay.
Like I go back to the end of February. And probably tell myself that this is like an adventure that we're embarking on together and not like this big, overwhelming, what do I call it? You know, like it's not a hardship, you know, like it's not like something that I need to be so like stressed about that, you know, it's something that we're doing together. And because I think I took on a lot of this upon myself, and I probably maybe didn't need to take on quite so much to myself. Like there's more that, you know, we could have talked about and split up more.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe because it's been a really stressful move.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, like our whole March, April, May, June, like the last 4 months have kind of everything's been upended.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just now starting to get back to a place where we're having some kind of routine and feeling settled in, and like 4 minutes of upheaval.
Yeah.
So, or 4 months, sorry, not minutes. So yeah, I think, because I think I went into it all like, just I'm used to doing everything myself, right? I've been alone for a decade before Aaron came along. It was by myself. And even beyond that, I was only married for 5 years before. And before that, I was a single mom, like the entire time my kids were growing up. So I've really been a single parent pretty much my whole life since I became a parent at 16. And yeah, I'm not used to having someone else who can like pick up some of the workload. So
good answer.
Thank you. I'm gonna skip this one because we didn't date. We didn't have dates.
We did go on one date.
We went on one date
like
after we were married. Yeah. Oh, if you could pick one memory to define our relationship, what would it be and why?
One memory. Probably what keeps coming up for me is like before I moved out, and just when we were just talking online and just being able to talk to you and you kind of knowing what I was gonna say or answering, or kind of we had the same kind of things that we would agree upon. Like same kind of, I don't know, like similar thinking processes. I think that to me really meant a lot to me. It still does. Is like we can still, like, I'll start saying something and you know what I'll say, or vice versa.
Yeah, you literally read my thoughts.
Yeah,
you do it all the time.
Yeah.
I'll think something and you'll say it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and we're on the same page on so many things. I think that was one of the things that in our relationship brought us together, was the fact that all of those foundational things like values and morals and politics and like all, like how we were, the childhood that we experiences we had so much, like we were the same on so many levels with everything across the board.
Which is interesting to me because we grew up in totally different places.
Mm-hmm. Well, but they're maybe not totally different demographically, not so different demographically, but just, felt like that makes for a good relationship foundation to not have, be at odds about certain things. And I know there's plenty of couples out there that do it, that, they have different ideas about politics and stuff, and then they work it out just fine. But that was kind of what we spent a year and a half just talking, like every single day for a year and a half, for hours at a time. We just talked about everything.
It was always something to look forward to. After working all day, I'd be beat, but I know I could come back and talk to this one.
Yeah. Nice. It was the calm at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like wind down to go to sleep, and
I literally would fall asleep and drop the phone on my face.
Yes, he would. He would regularly fall asleep while we were talking.
If you could relive one moment from our relationship forever, what would it be and why?
Relive one moment forever.
What? No.
Well, it would definitely be a moment that Oh, that's tough. Just one. I'm
scared.
Jennifer. I think one of my favorite moments, definitely one of my top favorite moments, and I could relive it over and over and over again and be very content, was when I was walking behind you and Anna in Mount Dora, and you guys were walking together in front of me down the sidewalk holding hands.
By the tennis courts. That's the tennis court. I remember that.
Yeah. I got a picture of it. Yeah, that will be burned in my memory forever.
We got to get back over there. That place is a nice little town.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's one that I could definitely handle over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. If you had to start our relationship over again, what would you do differently?
Probably would have told you that I liked you earlier.
Really?
Yeah.
Like when?
Maybe after I was sick with COVID.
There was a long time between
That
you
time.
being sick with COVID and the time we actually discussed
Yeah.
feelings. Like you were sick with COVID in like October of 2020.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk about feelings
So, like,
until
January.
February. Yeah, like the end of Yeah, you're right.
January.
January
Yeah.
2021.
Because I'm a big chicken, guys. All right.
Yeah, it was like 2.5 months or something before.
Yeah, I mean, like,
And I was the one who brought it up.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm a big chicken.
I remember agonizing over saying something because I hadn't been with anyone in 10 years. I hadn't even dated in 10 years. So I was like, man, I'm gonna say something to this guy, and he's gonna be like, I really like talking to you, but nah, I'm not. That's not what I'm here for. I'm out. You like let people know that you have feelings for them, and they're like, that's really sweet of you, but. And then when I did finally work up the courage to say something, tell them the story.
So she told me, we were like texting, and then my phone ran out of power, and so I had to wait till I could get to someplace to charge it. And then, so basically, through 3 hours or so, there was like radio silence.
Well, he was at work.
Yeah.
He was at work, and I messaged him while he was at work, and like he read it, and I think he was typing or something because I saw him like see it and like start to respond, and then nothing. And so he had to finish work, and he had to get home, and he had to plug it in, and he had to let it charge. And it was a really long time, and I was freaking out. I was like, that's it. I knew it. I knew this was what was going to happen. I was going to say something to him, and he's going to be like, yeah, I'm not interested in you that way. This is not what I want. I'm out of here. And sure enough, that's what happened. And then he finally got back on.
Yeah, I felt so bad.
Yeah, it was crazy. Okay. Your turn.
If you had to write a rule book for our relationship, what would be the number one rule?
Oh, I've already told you my number one rule. Do you remember? My number one rule. Love my baby. Gotta love my baby. Gotta love her. Gotta be good to her. Treat her well. It's my number one rule. Right?
Yep. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't anybody be?
Thank you guys for spreading it around. Oh, in what ways are we still growing?
I think just learning about how to communicate like in the same, because I think like people or us or anybody, I think, might say something a certain way and then the other person might misinterpret it. So I think we're still trying to like figure out the nuances of what sometimes we mean exactly.
Yeah.
I think more so maybe for me, but
yeah, well, I think I feel like you've learned that sometimes because of my anxiety, like I will react, like I will seem upset, but I'm not like upset at you.
Just
I'm upset about whatever the situation is.
Yeah.
And I'm just like venting that frustration or whatever. And it's not like directed.
Right.
So I think you figured out that. So that's good.
Right. Because I think like initially just as myself, my own personality, I'm very sensitive. So like I take things personally, and it has nothing to do with it. It's just, it's just how I interpret it, because I sometimes think people are just coming at me, but it's not that way.
Yeah, I think communication is that's a good point. I think communication is always a thing of growth. Like I feel like you're always having to,
and you can
really
never
listen,
and it's something that you could like slack off on at any point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So something that's always something that's growing,
Mm-hmm.
if you're dedicated and committed.
Yeah. Yeah, and it can always improve.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh wait, this is yours. This is yours.
Oh. Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give me regarding being your partner?
Knowing what I know now, I would tell you, don't change too much. Because I think that's one thing that's caused ripples over the last 6 months, is that I think in your attempt to adapt to life with us, I think you feel like you have to conform to what we already had going on to a large degree. And in your attempt to do that, you've changed in some ways from how you were, how you would handle things in the beginning when you first started living with us. And I would say don't do that so much. Like I think the way you were and the way you were doing things and what you brought to the table was one of the things that was good for our relationship, was one of the ways that we were good together. It was one of the things that, made us so compatible and made this such a good fit. And so if you give up those things and change to try and be more like us, I guess, or whatever, it changes the whole dynamic. And it becomes not what it was and not what it initially started out. And of course, that's going to happen to some degree because we're adjusting to each other. Like we have changed in some ways to adjust to you as well. But there's bigger things at play there where I think, I would say just try and retain some more of your own, your own self. Don't feel like you need to give that all up and become something else. Because, we brought you in who you were, and I fell in love with you because of who you were at the time. So
good advice. Something to think about.
My turn?
I think so.
I think that's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's about me forgetting things. That doesn't really happen.
I was going to say, I'm the one who forgets things.
Oh, the first time we met. So I don't know if this would be when you first saw me or when we first started talking more seriously, or when we actually met in person. But it says the first time we met, what do you remember thinking about me that still holds true now?
That when I first saw you, like I just remember your smile, and it just really, you have such a kind smile, and it just it I don't know, it's something when you smile, it just really, it makes me happy. And it's almost like, I'm not saying this, don't take this wrong, like I don't mean like you're old or anything, but it makes you look like a lot younger when you smile. Like you seem like It's like something more like childlike, or I don't know how to explain it, or youthful comes out of you when you smile.
Probably because I'm so stressed all the time. When I smile, it's like the stress kind of melts away.
And it radiates.
Mm.
It makes me happy when I see you smile.
Thank you. That's sweet.
Yeah, it's the truth.
That is true. He tells me that all the time. He's like, I love your smile. We'll be laying in bed in the morning, waiting for Anna to get up, and we'll be scrolling through reels or whatever, look over at him, we'll look at each other, and I'll smile, and he'll be like, I love it when you smile.
So
very sweet.
And I remember like when we were just chatting or doing FaceTime.
Video chat, yeah.
And there'd be points where we wouldn't have anything to say.
Mm-hmm.
And you just smile at me. And it just
alleviate that awkward moment.
But it was just as valuable as, if maybe more valuable than, times we were just chatting or whatever. Just
yeah. Okay. Your turn.
All right. What about me makes you feel like home?
Oh, gosh. I don't know how to put that into words, because that's been a thing since like day one. Because as soon as we started talking, like really talking, there was this air of like comfort on a level that I can't explain. Like somewhere deep down inside, I just felt like it's so unlike me. I don't like, trust people. I don't like generally open up to people until I've known them for a while, until I feel safe and comfortable with them. And I felt safe and comfortable with you from the moment we started talking, and you asked all kinds of questions. And I remember very briefly at the beginning, like thinking like, man, why is he asking me so many questions? But
what are you writing, a book, making a movie? What is this?
but as we got talking about stuff, it's just like so easy to tell you everything. So I don't know, something deep makes you feel like home. Like it just feels like it's just supposed to be, which I think is why it feels like we've been together so much longer than we have, and why it feels like, I mean, nothing felt like a production, like you moving across the country and living, in our home, and us getting married. And like, this just felt like, I don't know if you felt that way, but to me, it didn't feel like, oh my gosh, this is all so new and scary, and I have to get to know this person, and we have to, like, I mean, yes, there's been adjusting, but it just all felt like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. So
yeah, I agree. It's never felt to me like, oh, here are these new people that I'm with. It's never felt like that.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Huh. Oh gosh, Jennifer, I did not read that comment properly. Because with my my vision gets blurry late at night, and that looked like something else. Erin is very, I'm not going to say what it looked like, but it looked like something else.
Oh. Oh boy.
Too funny. Okay. Should we do some more? Do you guys want to say we've been on for half an hour? Is this too long? Should we stop? Should we keep going? What do you guys think? What say you? What do you think?
I'm up for anything.
I have to put my legs out because my feet are falling asleep.
Feetses.
My feetses.
Oh, people seem interested.
Keep going. Keep
All
going.
right,
Keep
let's do
going.
it,
Should we
let's
just
do
keep
it.
going from the top, or
Yeah.
should we break into the?
I
I didn't shuffle them very
Good
well, but I don't
question.
know if there's a difference.
Yeah, does it
Maybe
get
I'll-
more intense?
I'll break them into 3 piles, and we'll see what's going on in the middle here. All right. What's your favorite meal we've had together?
Favorite meal we've had together. I really enjoyed that fancy steak meal we had that one
The
time.
night we got married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, we
Good stuff.
splurged the night we got married, and we got dinner from this steakhouse. It's called Okeechobee, right? Okeechobee Steakhouse.
I think so, yeah.
Down in the West Palm Beach area. We asked the locals where you get the best, like
Steak.
surf and turf,
Yeah.
and because Anna wanted
Surf and
lobster
turf.
and Aaron wanted steak, and yeah, their steak was worth.
Yeah, good stuff.
I've never paid that much for a steak in my freaking life, and I probably never will again.
Yeah.
But boy,
Yeah, this is one of those real kind of old time fancy steak houses where they've got lockers with people's names on it that people put their wine in that they drink with the real fancy.
it was quite an experience. We got takeout. We didn't eat there,
Right.
but even the takeout steak
Was
was
good.
the best steak I've ever eaten in my life. I got a filet mignon. It was, oh my
Did
gosh.
I get a porterhouse?
Uh,
I think I got a porterhouse.
either that or a ribeye.
No, I think I got a porterhouse.
Something big.
It's a porterhouse because that's got the fillet on one side. It's good,
Yeah.
and it's got the bone.
Yeah, maybe for our like 25th anniversary, we'll go back and
back.
see if they're still there. Yeah. Okay.
All right. What am I always carrying that I should let go of?
What are you always carrying that you should let go of?
Like,
Yeah. Goodness. Yeah, I think you've already spoken briefly to the fact that you tend to take things personally, but I think even a little bit different than that, like you what was I trying to say? I think not only do you take it personally, you go a little further than that. You feel like you're not, almost like you're not good enough. And that you should definitely let go of. Yeah. Like, cause I think you have to understand that in families, unfortunately, we tend to, at times treat the people closest to us, the people we love the most, the worst. So like when Anna's upset and she's like, saying like, you're being rude to me, blah, blah, blah. Like she's upset about whatever in that moment she's throwing a fit about because she's a little kid, right? She's a little kid and she doesn't understand the long-term impacts of, her words yet. She's still learning that kind of thing. And I think that you should not let that make you feel like you're doing something wrong. That it's just a moment in time. It's just a temper tantrum. It's just a little kid thing, what they do. And you really, as a parent, have to not take that stuff personally. Like it's really more so about being a teaching moment. So you need to look at those moments more like you're a teacher and she's a student rather than you're two people, getting in an argument. And, figure out how can I turn this into a teaching moment for her, because she needs to be learning from you and learning how to be a better person, how to behave and stuff. And you shouldn't feel like just because you had that incident with her that you're not doing a good job as a parent. that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
All right.
It's my turn.
Oh,
I was just reading. Sue says, doubting yourself when it comes to your drawing abilities. You're very good at what you do, and you don't need to apologize for anything.
thank you.
Sharon says, your insecurity about if you're doing things correctly, like when you draw and apologize. Yeah. Yeah. What's the name of the box of questions? Catherine, it is, you can find these online. This is not a sponsored video. I just picked these up last year because they looked like a cool thing to do. And they have different sets. They have a family set. They have a dating edition. We have a kid edition that questions we do with Anna. So you can go check out The And. I would Google The And or The Skin Deep, and you'll find them online. My foot's asleep. Okay. Aw, what's your favorite memory you wish we had shared?
Favorite memory that like I've had on my own?
Yeah, it sounds like your favorite, just your favorite memory that you wish we could have shared as a couple.
Maybe like traveling to like Japan or Australia or going someplace that, because we've traveled
Domestically.
Yeah, but going to see like a different place where we both have never been to before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I really want. I don't know how we're going to swing it or when we're going to be able to afford it, but before she turns into a teenager, before she becomes like 14, I really want to take her and travel abroad. Like I really want to go to Europe or go to maybe back to Japan. I don't know. Like, so I want to take her places to see how other people live and the diversity of this planet and the humans on it. Like, I think that's a really important lesson.
You get a different perspective because you see some things you'd never see before and hear opinions from people that you never normally get to meet. And
Yeah. And I don't know how you swing that kind of thing, but I would love to at some point, pack things up and take her and go like live abroad for 6 months or something and just completely, not just be there for a week as a tourist, but like immerse in the different culture and
that'd be cool.
Go through that culture shock, it'd be really cool. It'd be really good for her. So I've never been anywhere outside of the country other than Canada. And, I've always wanted to see places, but me seeing places isn't even as imperative to me as just her. See, I have these friends that, I've known them since I have 2 adult children, since my 2 adult children were younger, when they were in, I would say I met Jennifer and Ken when Leash was, I think, in 8th grade. So Austin would have been starting middle school. My daughter was going into high school. And I met this couple, Jennifer and Ken, and they had 2 little girls. They were way younger than my kids. They, at the time, Mimi was like 3 and Lucy was like 6 or 7. So they had 2 little girls. They traveled with those girls so much while they were growing up. They took them to India. They took them to, I don't even know, like all over the place. They've been so many places. And then when Lucy went to high school, she did like her study abroad and went over to, where was she? She was in, I know it was a Muslim country. And so she had this really amazing study abroad
Like Dubai or
experience.
something?
Yeah, something. And she learned the language and she lived with the family. And these girls, I tell you what, are some of the most well-rounded, mature, kind, like educated, just understand, just amazing people because of their parents and the way that they raised them and exposed them to all of that stuff. So I've always admired that about Jen and Ken very much, and always wanted to be able to. It was too late to do that, with my kids, and I couldn't afford it anyway. And um, I have, an anxiety disorder. I have panic attacks. And so traveling, like, it really took a lot for me when I had to start traveling alone with Anna when she was a baby. That was hard for me at first. That was really scary and really difficult. And I was so afraid that I was going to have massive panic attacks while we were out and vulnerable and alone. But now, I have another adult, someone I trust to take care of us. And this is a perfect time to do those things that I couldn't do alone and I couldn't do before. So I know financially right now we can't swing it, but I really hope,
In the next few years would be cool.
8 years, sometime in the next 8 years, I'd love to. Yeah.
Before we start slowing down.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we think we're sore now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Just wait. Okay.
All right.
Oh, that was me
Yeah.
asking. Okay.
What's your favorite ritual of ours?
My favorite ritual of ours. It's tough because we've got a few things that we do regularly. I think it's not necessarily ours. It's a family thing,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely one of my favorite, if not my most favorite time of the day, every single day, regularly, is us sitting down to brunch together outside.
Yeah.
Like,
nice.
that's really important to me that we have that time together as a family. And yeah, I like that we do that.
Me too.
We make that a priority every day. It's kind of like, everybody rolls out of bed when they're ready and gets up kind of slowly and meanders, around and starts getting stuff done. And then, okay, time for brunch. And we all sit down together and we all eat and look at each other before we start our day. So, and then things get busy.
Right. And then all of a sudden it's nighttime.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. I think we have time for a few more before this starts getting too long. What do you know now that you wish you knew then?
What do I know now that I wish I could? Like how far back then? Like
I guess it's up to your interpretation. It's pretty vague. It's a pretty vague question.
I'm trying to pinpoint some point in time that I can.
I mean, if you want direction, I guess I would say then would be when we were talking online before we were together in person. What do you know now that you wish you knew then? Barbara says, this time together, just the two of you, is good for you. I hope you get more chances to do this. Barbara, we do this every night. Every single night after Anna goes to bed. We have time together.
That I think probably that I didn't have to be as scared to try new things and do new things, because I think I've learned a lot of different things, like that I just never got out of my comfort zone, before, but now I'm like stepping out of my comfort zone all the time because, I mean, not that I have to. I mean, I have to in some ways I have to, but also just wanting to be, more participating in the family, and that's all led to what I'm doing now, even with the sketchy friendler. Like that was always been scary for me, even when I was working professionally doing art before. I still wouldn't step out of my comfort zone, and I would never want to show off my stuff to large groups of people just for fear of rejection. So I think that's what I would tell myself. Don't be scared. Or it's okay to be scared, just don't let it stop you. Just push through it and see what happens.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, there you go.
It works. It really works. If you ever don't feel confident about something, just pretend you do. It really works.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then if it doesn't really kind of work, then you can see how you could tweak it and try it again. Because you don't know where you stand at all until you actually do it, So
yeah. Sarah says, I really enjoy the sketchy friendler.
Thank you. All right.
Your turn.
What are we sharing with others?
What?
Well, it's like, well, I guess because
what are we sharing with others?
everything now at this point, everything.
Everything.
If we weren't sharing everything before, we certainly are right now.
I don't know what that means. You should just get another one.
Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah. What are you hesitant to ask me?
What am I hesitant?
Yeah, I don't
ask?
feel like you're hesitant.
Do you know me?
I know. That's like
what?
You're pretty much, if that's what you want to know.
I'm an open book.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get.
And also, if you're going to get to the bottom of this, too, like if there's a question, it's going to be asked.
What are you hesitant to? There's nothing, man. Yeah.
Let's try another one.
Yeah.
What do you miss most about us?
I don't think I've had time to miss anything about us. I mean, I guess, well, that's not true. I guess in some ways I miss, because we don't sit and talk for hours anymore. I mean, we talk for hours spread out over the course of the day, but we don't sit for like 2 hours at night after Anna goes to bed and just talk, right?
Right.
Like we're usually doing something together, or we're looking at something, or we're working on something, or we're going live or whatever. Like we don't actually just like sit down, look at each other like we used to on the phone and just talk to each other.
We're kind of doing that right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I guess
thanks, guys.
If I had to say something, that would be what I miss most is just the
time.
I mean, it'd be kind of awkward if we sat down and looked at each other and said, "So what'd you do today?"
Yeah. Well, why don't you go into the other room, and then I'll go into another room.
We'll video chat. You go into the guest room at the other side of the house. I'll go into the bedroom. We'll video
and
chat.
I'll drop the phone on my face. And pass out.
Maybe just like old times. Yeah. That's funny. Well, 2 cards. Huh. Okay. What are you most concerned about for my future?
Probably like your health, like your stress, and it's not good. So we have to think of ways to alleviate the stress and make sure that you stay okay. Because it's scary. Don't want anything bad happening to you.
We need to meditate.
We need to start doing meditation or something.
Yeah. Yeah, stress has been a chronic condition in my life since I was very little. So I don't really, my threshold is very high, and I don't really notice it until it's way out of hand. So should we keep going? We're just about an hour. You want to do one more each?
Yes, one more each.
One more each. All right. And then we're going to say goodnight and head off to see if that gecko's back out again so I can catch him and get him out of here. If you missed the story, go over to the main page, the family vlog page after you're done here, if you have time, and watch the live stream that we did earlier this evening. You can hear the story of the gecko in our bathroom. Vicky says, "No, you can't leave." The problem is if we go much past an hour, people really don't watch it back. Even now, it's probably people don't watch it back because they see how long it is and they're like, I don't have time for that. It's not like when you guys catch it live, you don't really know what you're getting roped into. And then you get sucked in. And so you have like this sunk cost bias and you're like, I'm not leaving now. I've already watched this much of it. But that doesn't happen on a replay. On a replay, people can see how long it is. And they're like, too much.
I don't want to talk about that one.
Oh, that's fine. Can I see what it is? Can I see what it is?
Let's do it afterwards.
I'm not going to show them. Oh. Interesting.
What do I do that helps you the most?
What do you do that helps me the most? You're here.
Oh.
Your presence, your existence in my life. You're here physically. That alone is helpful. Even without anything else, even without doing anything else, that alone is helpful. Okay. Last one. What are your 3 favorite memories we've shared?
3 favorite memories. Traveling down to West Palm Beach. Christmas time at West Palm Beach. And going to Magic Kingdom with you.
I'm gonna give my 3 favorite memories.
Sure.
Definitely Christmas in West Palm Beach. Like having our family tree. That family tree was epic. It was a great tree. And making the ornaments for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our trip to Magic Kingdom. That was pretty cool. That was an amazing first date. And I think coming here, but our first when we first got here, came into the house together as a family.
Yeah.
Because this is like our first, like, yeah, we stayed in a place together before this, but it wasn't our home.
Right.
So this is the first home that like we've moved into as a family unit, and we're making it, our space.
It's not a temporary
Mhm.
place. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming home together.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
And I like it more every day because we set more and more up, so it's getting more settled looking.
Yeah. It's more and more hours. Yeah. How about getting married? That was just a formality. That didn't really. I mean, honestly,
it was nice. I mean, it was a little funky, but
yeah,
it was nice.
It was funky, cool.
Yeah.
But it was just like, a legal, like, I don't know. I mean, if I had to pick like of all my favorite memories, it'd be somewhere on there, but not like we've done so much more than with the feeling of being husband and wife, or being a complete family unit was there even before we got married.
Right.
So
it was just an official part of it, I guess.
Make it legal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we still get to have a celebration at some point, and that may be much more like
more memories.
Yeah. Family memories. Okay, you answer your question back, and then we'll say goodnight. What do I do that helps you the most?
You give me direction. You center me, because I'm very kind of. What can I say? I'm an Aquarius, and I'm an artist. But I'm creative, but I'm always kind of going in all so many different directions, and different things get my attention, and she helps kind of like get me back on track. And I've never really had anybody that's helped me that way, so I really appreciate it. She's helped me more advance in my art than any time else in my life, I think, in a short amount of time. So I'm very grateful. I love you.
I love you. Thank you for putting up with being so public about your family and your relationship, and doing stuff like this with me, even though there's 400 people watching. Real quick, someone said, Jada said, if you see that bathroom gecko again, try to block the hole it's crawling into. I read that and I was like, ooh, because we could take towels and roll them up and stuff them along the bottom of the cabinetry where he keeps going back up.
Okay.
And see if, he might still be able to like
wiggle,
slink under the towels, but it might be enough to deter him, keep him out in the middle of the floor area. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to try that. Thank you for the idea. All right, guys, we're gonna pack it in. We'll have to do this again sometime. We've got all these cards left. Look at this. We haven't even touched
or looked at
all of these.
So we could keep this going.
We'll do this again sometime.
Revisit.
Duct tape.
We got duct tape. Got lots of duct tape.
Put it double-sided inside out so he gets stuck to it. You're like,
that's sad.
Babe, I caught the gecko. But at least we could get it off him. Oh, it might hurt him though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, never mind. I don't want to hurt him.
It's like those glue traps.
Yeah.
That's sad.
No, I don't.
Those are sad.
Nope. We'll scoop him up and get him out hopefully before.
Hopefully he'll be agreeable. Sick. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night, y'all. Thank you for hanging out.
Okay.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.